It's St. Patrick's Day weekend, but will you have the luck of the Irish with Lindsay Lohan's new romantic comedy, or will you be running empty trying to search for a pot of gold?
See it or skip it. See it or skip it. See it or skip it.
Welcome everybody to a new episode of See It or Skip It. And we're going to start with the Lindsay Lohan-assance, the one that I've been waiting for a very long time, in this new film called Irish Wish. When the love of Maddie's life gets engaged to her best friend, she puts her feelings aside to be a bridesmaid at their wedding in Ireland. When she gets the chance to make a wish to maybe be the wife for this person that she's in love with, or supposedly in love with, things take a turn for the better or for the worse. And I just am so happy that Lindsay Lohan is back. She's doing the work again, she's getting more roles, and I'm so excited for Freaky Friday 2. But with this, I just wish that there was a little bit more with her character. Don't get me wrong, her acting is still on point, she's never looked better, and her physical comedy still is underrated to me and really plays an important role in her character in this. I think the rom-com side of this can be a little tedious. I think both supporting roles with her do well in interacting with her, and the chemistry is there. But at the end of the day, I wouldn't necessarily call this a film that anybody should check out and watch and have a good time. This is more for the people that love Lindsay Lohan, that want to see her succeed, and that are interested in these kind of silly romantic comedy films that we see in a lot of Hallmark films or Lifetime movies. I don't necessarily think that this is a bad film. I do think the writing and the story could have been developed a little better, but I'm just so happy that Lindsay Lohan is back on screen, and this is something that if you love Hallmark films, if you love Lifetime movies, it's definitely a see it, but for me, it's probably a skip it. Next, we have a Sundance film that we got to see back in January, The American Society of Magical Negros. This is starring a young man named Aaron who's recruited into a secret society of magical black people who dedicate their lives to a cause of utmost importance, making sure white people's lives are easier. The implication of that is if it's difficult for a white person's life, that makes it difficult for black people's lives. It's a bit of a mixture between Harry Potter meets Men in Black, which is strange to say given the source material and the subject matter. I found myself laughing through the entire film. Our main character, played by Justice Smith, does a really great job and proves that he can lead a role and be in one of these films at a higher level. I think the concept is super creative. I think all of the character work in this is really well done. My only issue is I don't think they do enough with the concept other than just making it kind of a silly, fun film up until the third act where Justice Smith gets a big monologue scene that's probably my favorite part of the entire movie. If you like films like Blind Spotting, or if you've seen Sorry to Bother You with Lakeith Stanfield, you might really enjoy this. I think this is more of an approachable film versus those two movies, but at the same time, it might not be for everybody. But for me, it's definitely a see it. And to round this out, we have Love Lies Bleeding. This is coming from A24. It also debuted at Sundance, but if you know A24 and you know that studio, they did films like Everything Everywhere All at Once, Swiss Army Man. They just did The Whale that Brendan Fraser won Best Actor for. You know that the subject matter is going to be intense, very creative, and have an independent vibe. And this is starring Kristen Stewart as Lou, a gym manager who falls for a bodybuilder named Jackie who's passing through town trying to get to a competition in Las Vegas. Jackie starts to learn more about Lou and her family, particularly her father, who's played by Ed Harris, and how he deals with situations, and I can't really spoil too much else about that. We also have Jenna Malone, who plays her sister, who's a wife that's being abused by her husband, who's played by Dave Franco. There's a lot of history with Lou and her family, and you delve into that, and as Jackie continues her bodybuilding competition, you start to see her psyche change as she's going further and further into growing her body, building up her muscles, and finding out more stuff about Lou's past. Kristen Stewart is kind of a Sundance darling. She's been in many, many films at Sundance, and when this premiered, it got a lot of raving reviews from a lot of people. I didn't get a chance to see it until literally yesterday, and I have to say that Kristen Stewart does shine in this. In fact, this might be one of her best performances. I love that this is kind of a neo-noir thriller that's set in the 80s. I love the bodybuilding side of it. I think all the characters were interesting. The performances were great. Ed Harris plays a really great villain. That being said, the film is rated R for a reason. There's a lot of graphic sexual content in this. There's a lot of blood, there's a lot of gore, so if you're not into that, this probably isn't for you. There's also a few moments in this where it delves from being realistic into completely surreal. I don't know if it necessarily landed for me. It could work for you, but as they went into the more crazy elements of the story and started delving away from what reality actually was from what you were seeing on the screen, I don't know if those moments necessarily landed. Also, this is a film that doesn't like to give you a lot of information. It likes to lead you to believe whatever you want to think about these characters while giving as little detail as possible. I do wish there was more things expanded on and told by our story, But at the same time, it's always interpretive, and I love seeing that, and I love that they're treating their audience with respect for them to look into this and delve into it and have their own interpretations of what they think each part means. So that being said, that's the disclaimer that this is definitely a bloody, violent, sexual film, but I ended up having a really good time with it. I think the love story was very interesting, and I loved the bodybuilder aspect of it. So for me, it's definitely a see it. That's it for this week's episode. Make sure that you go to abc4.com, click the shows tab, and go to See It or Skip It to check out more reviews, interviews, and news. We even have some stuff from Sundance for the American Society of Magical Negros that you definitely should check out. Once again, I'm Patrick Beatty. Thank you so much as always for watching, and I will see you at the next review.
See it or skip it. See it or skip it. See it or skip it.